Hey everybody, what's going on? Bahroo here, back inside of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and today we're going to be continuing our daily talk about moving forward from the pre-sequel, and today I want to discuss about an MMO, and how Borderlands may benefit or suffer from this kind of a change. Now, I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about things being an MMO. For example, Destiny. A lot of people were put off because of the way that it was, but I kind of want to discuss why we have those issues. Why exactly do we not like the fact that there could be a potential MMO for Borderlands 3? As we talked about, there is the potential that there's going to be a lot of different Vault Hunters, a variety of different things that you could pick, maybe even going so far as to say create your own Vault Hunter, but that might be a little too far into the MMO aspect of things, because we're not going to obviously have a siren then at that point, because only 6 can exist in the universe and such and blah blah blah. But anyway, let's go ahead and just draw some things that Destiny did right in terms of an MMO, and we can kind of look at what exactly we could expect from Borderlands 3 if it went that route. A good thing to go ahead and start off on was the fact that you could actually have a much stronger community with other players. That way, if you want to be able to play some random games, go to some random area, do some stuff, you can do that because there are a lot more people online to be playing this game. So that will increase the longevity of the game, and because there are more people playing, they will allow, for more and probably better content, and rather less of these short and sweet things that we've been getting inside of Borderlands series so far. Another good example is that the raid inside of Destiny is probably one of the best things I've experienced on a console so far. So if we could bring that kind of experience to Borderlands 3, I would really like to see that. Back in Digistruct Peak, I felt like that was a really good step in the right direction in its idea. Now, Digistruct Peak wasn't the best thing in the world, especially once you started adding in OP levels. It started getting a little bit ridiculous, but the idea of fighting your way through to a big boss was a really good thing, because it had the structure of what a raid actually is, which is a small instance with a lot of different trash enemies that you need to fight through, and then at the very end you've got a boss who can drop special loot. In this case it was, oh my god, what the hell, who could drop pearlescence. Now obviously this was a little bit flawed in its release because, well, oh my god, what the hell was not that great of a boss. Instead, he was just a bunch of bullet reflection, where it doesn't really matter where you hit him, you were going to reflect bullets back at yourself. And his loot wasn't that great, considering pearls weren't that good. But let's take a look at what if they had given him an actual, legitimate loot pool, similar to Terramorphous. The Hide of Terra was one of the best shields in the game, and they could very easily add very unique loot to just killing, oh my god, what the hell, and it would incentivize players to actually go through the whole thing rather than just getting a few things or just going around. Because really, Digistruct Peak doesn't have too much to offer you, because the pearls aren't that strong outside of just being able to unlock your OP levels, which a lot of people wanted to avoid, or rather just do so that way they could play on OP 0 with OP 8 weapons, because the difficulty wasn't scaled correctly. There's difficulty, and then there's just tedium, which is what OP 8 was starting to get to in terms of certain class and gun customizations. The health regeneration from OP 8 ended up making it so that way you couldn't do anything about it. But I would like to see that kind of area structure reach the Borderlands. Instead of getting a one quest to go to one area to go fight a raid boss, I would like to have something similar to Digistruct Peak. I would like to have, instead of, going to go fight Terramorphous, maybe we have to actually crawl through Terramorphous's lair. Now, obviously, we've already killed Terra, but this is just a good example of what I would like to see. What would you like to see? If we were to get this sort of design structure for our raid bosses, I feel like that would definitely improve our experience with them, and it would justify them being able to give it much better and stronger loot. I mean, Hyperius can drop the Norfleet, Veracitus can drop well, I guess you can drop the interfacer, but that's only useful on Salvador. Then you've got other bosses who just don't drop much of anything. But that's because you just walk right to the boss and you just pick up the loot, assuming it drops. But with this structure, they could justify having, you know, really rare gear coming from these bosses. And maybe even having multiple bosses on our run to the main one. That would be a really interesting concept that I would like to see done. And it would definitely give a lot more longevity to future Borderlands games, because you would want to do these boss runs. You'd want to do these sort of raids, as they are called. Destiny is great because of that, because you want to go through the raid. Granted, you know going in you're not going to get anything, but you like the idea of going to it rather than just farming one boss over and over again. I would like to hear your thoughts on this topic and how exactly we could make some adjustments and why MMOs could be a good thing for Borderlands. We'll be touching on this topic a lot throughout the week, but I wanted to ask you all how you felt about that aspect in the raiding aspect of things, and why you either like or dislike MMOs. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll definitely look forward to reading all of your comments. I would like to thank you all for the amazing support you've been giving this series, and I think I'm going to give it a nice little name here too, but I'm not entirely sure yet. But either way, thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this, be sure to hit that like button to help support me in what I do, and don't forget to subscribe for future content. Catch you all in the next one, everybody. Later.